Hello everyone, this is Firoz Nadar. I welcome all of you to my YouTube channel. Please like and subscribe. If you have little bit knowledge of ILD, influence line diagram, you can continue with this video. Otherwise, I strongly recommend you to see my previous videos on ILD, the link of which are shared in the description box. So welcome once again. Now we will see what we are going to learn in this video. We will going to learn how to find absolute maximum bending moment and absolute shear force in a beam when it is subjected to rolling loads or multiple loads. About this rolling loads or multiple loads, it is moving from one end to other end. In this case, let's say it is moving from left end to right end. Okay, so when it is moving, the beam respond in terms of internal forces, that is bending moment and shear force. So we need to see where to locate this, or on what location of these load we are getting absolute maximum bending moment and absolute maximum shear force. Okay, so let's see the problem statement. A train of concentrated load shown in the figure. Okay, so this is the train of concentrated load. It is moving from left to right. So 40 kilonewton is the leading load and 20 kilonewton is the last load. It is moving from left to right on a girder of span 16 meter. So we need to find absolute maximum shear force and absolute maximum bending moment developed in the beam. Okay, so we know from the basic that maximum shear force in a simply supported beam are at the supports. Okay, maximum shear force will be at A and at B. So we need to find where we are getting absolute maximum shear force, whether at A or at B, and how to place this load we also have to see to get maximum shear force. So first we will draw ILD influence line diagram for reaction at A. Okay, so this is the influence line diagram for reaction at A. So one coordinate is at this point. Okay, and you can place load. You have to place load in such a way that all the loads are coming. See, this load is moving from this end to this end. This is all load. Okay, so when 20 is at this point, all the loads are in the girder. So we need to see here all the loads are in the girder, not away from the girder. Here you can see only 3 loads are shown on the girder. One load is out of the girder. So when we are using influence line diagram, we are required to see all the loads are on the girder, and if the last load is at this point, all the loads are in the girder. Now we have to see the ordinates under the load. Under 20 kilonewton 1 is ordinate. Okay, so under 60 kilonewton F1 is the ordinate, under 80 kilonewton F2 is the ordinate, under 40 kilonewton F3 is the ordinate. So we need to find this F1, F2 and F3 by using the concept of similar triangle. Okay, so this is one triangle, height is 1 and base is 16 meter. This is other triangle, height is F1 and base is 13 meter. So we can use the concept of similar triangle. Height by base of one triangle equal to height by base of another triangle. So we are getting F1 equal to 0.812. Similarly, we can use this another triangle. Okay, this triangle and this triangle. Okay, so by using the concept of similar triangle, F2 equal to 0.687. Similarly, we can find F3. This is F3, not F2. I'm sorry, this is F3. So now just replace F1, F2, F3 by their values and show the load acting on those coordinates. So how to find absolute shear? Absolute shear for RA at RA equal to 20 into ordinate, load into the ordinate, plus 60 into ordinate under the load or coordinate under the load, plus 80 into ordinate under the load, plus 40 into 0.56. So this is what we are getting when we are using influence line diagram for RA, this is the absolute shear force 146.2. So this is we need to see another trial. We have to draw ILD for RB. So when we are drawing ILD for RB, coordinate or ordinate 1 will be here, and here it will be 0 ordinate. So it is moving from 0 to 1. 0 to 1 linearly it is moving. Okay, so you can place the load like this. Again I am telling you, all the loads should come in the girder. This is the first load, it is not passing, it is at this point. So when it is at this point, all the loads are coming on the girder. Okay, so by the same method which we have seen the previous slide, by the same method you can find this coordinates, this ordinates. So absolute shear force equal to load into the ordinate under that load. So absolute shear force is equal to 163 kilonewton. At A we got 146, but 163 is maximum, so absolute maximum shear force is at B, that is 163 kilonewton. Now we will see how to find absolute maximum bending moment. To find absolute maximum bending moment, we have to see the multiple loads and define the resultant of these multiple loads. Okay, so the value of resultant is clear, it is sum of these forces, but here we are required to define the location of the resultant with respect to any of these extreme loads, either 20 kilonewton or 40 kilonewton. So let's say A is a distance, small a is distance with respect to 40 kilonewton, and we are required to find this A distance, the value of A. So for that we will use Varignon's theorem. Varignon's theorem states that moment of resultant about any point or about this point is equal to sum of moment of forces about this point. Okay, so about this point the moment of resultant is R into A equal to sum of moment of forces about this point. So 40 kilonewton is having 0 distance, it will not create any moment about this point. 80 into 20, okay, plus 60 into 4 plus 20 into 7. So when you solve this equation, you can substitute the value of R, which is 200. Okay, you will get A equal to 2.7 meter. So now you see the resultant, the location of the resultant is between 80 kilonewton and 60 kilonewton. Okay, so R is between 60 and 80. Now we need to see which is the nearer load or nearest load to this resultant. Okay, so we can it is very clear from the distance that 80 kilonewton is very near to resultant than 60 kilonewton, and it is also heavier than 60 kilonewton. Okay, so distance between 80 kilonewton and resultant is 0.7 meter. Okay, so since 80 kilonewton is nearer load and also it is heavier load, we don't have to go for another trial. Okay, if instead of 60, if it was 100 kilonewton, then we have to go for another trial. 80 is nearer load, nearest to the resultant, and also it is heavier. Now you see in the girder we have to place the resultant and 80 kilonewton in such a way that it is equidistant from the center of the beam, from the center of the girder. Okay, we are not using resultant, the value of resultant here. We are only using resultant here to locate this 80 kilonewton, the nearest load to the resultant, to locate the nearest load to the resultant. Okay, so we have to place the resultant and 80 kilonewton in such a way that it is equidistant from the center of the beam. So distance between these two load is 0.7 meter, equidistant from the center 0.35. This is 0.35, this is 0.35. So 80 kilonewton is having 0.35 distance with respect to the center. Resultant is also having 0.35 distance with respect to the center. Okay. Now you see from A to C, the distance is 8 meter. Okay. And from A to this load, 8 plus 0.35. Okay. So this is 8.35. And about this point we have to draw ILD for bending moment about this point. So for that we need to know A, B. A is 8.35, B is 7.65 divided by L. So the distance of this ordinate or the magnitude of this ordinate is AB by L. By solving it, we are getting 3.99. So at this point we have to place load followed by other loads. Okay, so at this point we have to place 80 kilonewton. Now you see, under 80 kilonewton we know the value of ordinate. Okay, under other loads we have to find the value of ordinates under the other load. Okay, so we can use principle of similar triangle, concept of similar triangle. So under 60 kilonewton we have F1, under 20 kilonewton F2, under 40 kilonewton is F3. By using the concept of similar triangle we can find F1. The value of F1 is, see, you can use this triangle. Okay, height of this triangle is 3.99, base is 8.35. okay, and another triangle, height of this is F1 and base is 6.35. so F1 you are getting 3.03. similarly F2 you can find and F3 you can find. You can put the value of F1, F2, F3. Now you see how to find absolute maximum bending moment. Load into ordinate. Load into ordinate under the load. 80 into 3.99 plus 60 into 3.03 plus 20 into 1.60 plus 40 into 2.79. So this is the absolute maximum bending moment developed in the beam to this moving load, to this multiple load, to this trail load. Thank you for watching my video. Thank you very much.